Hi, my name is Bryan Mills and I was involved in the Red Roof group with Healthy Cornwall. I joined Healthy Cornwall on the advice of my doctor. About 5 years ago, I was diagnosed with heart failure, which was a bit of a shock. And I wanted to sort of try and get fitter and healthier to help my heart beat better, really. The problem I had was that although previously I'd been relatively fit, the heart failure gave me such a scare that I was kind of a bit nervous about doing much exercise and getting back into shape. I'd been relatively fit most of my life, or reasonably so. I was getting older. And then to suddenly start to be very breathless. I couldn't walk upstairs without basically having to have a rest at the top. Most activities like that became difficult for me. And that went on for a couple of months until I was diagnosed properly and given medical treatment. That just stayed in my mind, really, and so I became quite scared. Although the drugs worked really well, and I feel really well now, at the time I was just so nervous that if I overdid anything, I would be back to that breathlessness, and so I became quite scared. Despite the cardiologist telling me that you're fine, you can go for a run, you can do exercise. The activities that really helped me and the work that Craig put in was really just around boosting my confidence. The fact that I could do activities in a room where people were fully aware of what was wrong with me, but in addition to that were supportive, that really gave the boost. In addition to the exercise side of things, the other part that we did with the group was the healthy eating, and that's made one of the biggest impacts, I think, on my life and on my lifestyle, and I keep telling people what I learned from that, hopefully correctly. But the couple things that really stuck in my mind was that it wasn't diet based, so it's not like a fad diet. You don't have to do anything, there's no sins, there's nothing like this. What I learned was about nutrition, really straightforward stuff, and I was quite embarrassed I didn't already know this. But things like you should only have 3 grams of fat per 100 grams of food, and of course fat's got 3 letters, and so does and so that's what you're looking for, 3 grams worth. Same with sugar, 5 grams of sugar. Really simple things like that. Just look at the label, look at the 100 grams, check off those things and make sure you stay within them. Gosh, shopping becomes so easy. In addition to that, portion size, you have like a handful of meat, a handful of rice. It's such easy advice that anyone can do, but actually it also means there's no fadness to it. There's nothing special about it. You don't have to buy anything different. You just look at what you buy. Really simply, really easy, and you can do it in a service station. If you're buying a sandwich, you can do it in Tesco's, you can do it in any supermarket. It is absolutely so easy and so straightforward. And in a very short period of time I managed to lose over a stone, so I was absolutely delighted, and I wasn't on a diet. It's brilliant. If you find yourself in a situation where you kind of feel that you should be doing something with your lifestyle but don't feel able to, I'd really recommend something like Healthy Cornwall. I know there's lots of gyms, I know there's lots of diet clubs, but the thing with Healthy Cornwall is it's designed and backed using sort of National Health Service advice. You feel very secure, you feel very safe, and of course you know that what you're doing is with people similar to yourself that are trying to make a difference to their lives, trying to make a healthy difference to their lives, and there's certainly no competition, there's no feeling of being embarrassed. Nobody talks about your weight this week, nobody kind of publicly discusses however you are or anything like that. It's all just down to you learning about how to live a healthier lifestyle and how to do a little bit of exercise that suits you. You can go on and do other things. I went on and did much more running after the course, but of course on it itself you can learn a lot of exercises you can do in the comfort of your own home. You can learn a lot about how you can cook differently without having to spend ages obeying any sort of rules of any sort of strange diet where you can only eat on a Tuesday or something. It's just normal life made better, really.